This is the city of Ancona, population 110,000, and when things are normal, one of Italy's most popular Adriatic resorts. But for the past 6 months, life in Ancona has been anything but normal. The tourists haven't come, and most of its people have gone. Ancona's troubles began last February when 5 earthquakes and several smaller tremors sent thousands of its inhabitants fleeing to the countryside. Since then, the city has been shaken almost daily by 1,000 more quakes, some registering as high as 9 on the 12-point Mercalli scale. It's now estimated that over 70% of the buildings have been damaged, including the city's renowned 11th century cathedral. Despite the danger from falling masonry, miraculously no one has been killed. When this car was crushed, the driver was upstairs watching television. Another driver was walking away from his car when an upstairs balcony came hurtling down and flattened it. Ancona lies on the edge of an earthquake belt that runs through the Mediterranean and the Middle East. The earthquakes here are caused by the slow movement of Africa and Arabia towards Europe and Asia. It's a process that will eventually annihilate the Mediterranean Sea and replace it with a new range of mountains. The epicenter of the present series of quakes is at sea, 3 miles out from Ancona. When they first started, people blamed offshore drilling operations by a gas rig. The drilling stopped for a time, but the tremors continued. "30,000 of Ancona's inhabitants now live in tents on sites like this. Thousands more have fled to the safety of surrounding towns and villages. This tent village was set up in the sports stadium high above the city centre, while 5 larger communities were established on the outskirts. People who've moved from their homes, either voluntarily or by order, have now been officially classed as refugees. At first glance, life in the camps doesn't seem too hard. The tents are large, sanitation and washing facilities are adequate. What the refugees have lost is the comfort and privacy of their own homes. Under the circumstances, the city authorities appear to be doing a good job of looking after their unfortunate citizens. And so far, there haven't been too many complaints about army cooking. In the beginning, it was a novelty to live and sleep under canvas, and there was a holiday camp atmosphere, even in the lengthy food queues. Now, 6 months later, the novelty has worn off. The scene is depressingly reminiscent of 100 other refugee camps in 100 other places. Some of the tragedy of Ancona can only be measured in economic terms. During the last 10 years, it's been something of a boom city, with an expanding shipyard, a prosperous harbour from which most of the ferries to Greece and Yugoslavia sail, and a new chemical plant giving work to 1,000 people. In recent summers, the wide white beaches around the small Ancona peninsula attracted hordes of tourists who couldn't afford the expensive Mediterranean bathing spots on the other side of the country. Now, the port and the factories are at a standstill, and business turnover has dropped by 80%. Total damage is so far estimated at over £300 million. So many buildings in the town are now judged unsafe that business organizations and public services like the post office have had to set up their offices in tents and caravans in the main square. It's still fun for the children to post letters under the trees, but the situation is much less happy for old-age pensioners who must now queue for hours in all weathers for their payments. It's not that fun either for those who can't or won't move into the camps, and for whom roughing it means sleeping in a lorry with blankets for curtains and the nearest lavatory 3 streets away. Daily, the city engineers tour the damaged areas, trying to make plans for the day when the quakes stop for good. It's a difficult job because much of the damage is hidden. Ancona was struck by 2 days of earthquakes in 1933, and many of the buildings repaired at that time have cracked again, mainly on the inside. As they make their rounds, the engineers are frequently accosted by people demanding to know when they can return to their homes, what compensation they can expect. Even though there have been no tremors for some time, the authorities are refusing to give the go-ahead for repair work to start. Their caution is understandable. In May, they spent thousands of pounds on rebuilding. In June, the tremors were worse than before. Many buildings are beyond repair, and the old medieval centre is so badly damaged it's unlikely ever to be inhabited again. Meanwhile, there's little for the people to do but wait to be told when it's safe to go home. That information will come from deep in the town clerk's cellar, where a seismograph called Agamemnon traces shock waves from the tremors out at sea. This dark underground room is now said to be the most important 10 square feet in Ancona. In the street above, Ancona's tent-dwelling commuters stop on their way to and from work to read the earthquake bulletins, which are posted up hourly. During the day, Ancona creates the superficial impression of a city occupied with its affairs, but at night it becomes a ghost city. Every major quake so far has happened between dusk and dawn, so every evening at 5, thousands of people begin their journey out to safety. The exodus lasts 30 minutes, then life in Ancona stops. After many days of quiet, experts are saying the tremors may be at an end. The people of Ancona hope and pray they're right.